Let's say if the bill was $1,000, he'll give $20 or $50.
You've heard the stories about athletes going broke, but what about the ones who are secretly, almost obsessively, frugal? We're talking about legends like Michael Jordan. A billionaire so incredibly frugal, he's become infamous for leaving pocket change tips.
He doesn't use his cell phone off the boat if there's no Wi-Fi.
If there's no Wi-Fi,
No
he
data
does not
roaming.
mess with data roaming.
From the king of the court to the king of cheap. We're diving deep into the shocking stories of NBA legends worth millions, and in some cases, billions, who still live their lives like they're on their last dollar. We're starting with LeBron James, who astonishingly refuses to buy apps or even turn on his data roaming, despite his billion-dollar empire. So, get ready. Because in this video, we are breaking down the unbelievable habits of 14 NBA icons, who prove that having money doesn't always mean you have to spend it. We're kicking things off with none other than King James himself, LeBron James, who made history as the first active NBA player to officially achieve billionaire status. Think about that for a second. His net worth is estimated to be around a staggering and let me break down how he built this empire. His career salary alone has exceeded $500 million. Then you have the legendary lifetime Nike contract, worth over $1 billion on its own. Add to that his stake in Fenway Sports Group, his powerhouse production company Spring Hill Entertainment, his smart Blaze Pizza investments, and a massive real estate portfolio with holdings across Los Angeles, Akron, and Miami. LeBron has constructed a financial fortress that would make most Fortune 500 CEOs absolutely green with envy. And yet, this is the very same man who has been hilariously dubbed the cheapest guy in the NBA by his teammates, his closest friends, and even by the king himself. The label really took off thanks to his longtime friend and fellow superstar Dwayne Wade, who playfully but repeatedly called LeBron the cheapest player he'd ever known during countless interviews. LeBron's thriftiness shows up in ways that are just downright comical for a man of his wealth. He famously refuses to activate data roaming on his phone, especially when traveling internationally, choosing instead to rely solely on whatever hotel Wi-Fi he can find. And this isn't some old story. Even in 2025, during a podcast appearance with Speedy Mormon, he doubled down on the habit, saying flat out, "I've got Wi-Fi in the hotel, so that's all I need."
I used to hang out with Michael Jordan, and I remember Michael Jordan wouldn't tip really well back in the day.
And believe me, it doesn't stop there. LeBron James, a billionaire, does not buy apps. He will only download the free ones, and completely avoids any and all in-app purchases. Think about that next time you're tempted to spend 99 cents in a game. He even uses the free version of Pandora, patiently sitting through every single advertisement that interrupts his playlists, rather than forking over a few bucks to upgrade to premium. Now this mindset isn't random, it was instilled in him early on. His uncle gave him a piece of advice that became his financial Bible. For every dollar you make, spend 35 cents and invest the other 65 cents. That simple ratio has guided his entire financial philosophy from day one. This entire approach stems directly from his incredibly humble upbringing in Akron, Ohio, where he grew up in deep poverty with a single mother. That experience forged a disciplined, almost obsessive, approach to money that has stuck with him even now that he's worth more than many small countries. As his teammate Austin Reeves noted in 2025, LeBron's frugality isn't about being stingy for the sake of it. It's a masterclass in financial acumen that is absolutely worth emulating. But just when you think you've heard the absolute peak of frugality, you realize the bar is about to get raised to a whole other level by Michael Jordan.
I hung out with Michael Jordan for a long time back in the 90s.
So you say he was cheap when he was tipping like what, 10%?
No, let's say if the bill was $1,000, he'll give $20 or $50.
So, if LeBron James is the cheapest guy in the NBA, then Michael Jordan might just be the cheapest guy in the entire history of professional sports, period. We're talking about the man widely regarded as the greatest basketball player of all time, who now has a mind-boggling net worth of approximately $3.8 billion, making him the richest former athlete in history. Let's put that in perspective. His Air Jordan brand alone generates somewhere between $6.5 to $7 billion annually for Nike. And Jordan himself earns a 5% royalty on that. That's a cool $50 to $200 million dropping into his bank account every single year, without him lifting a finger. But if you ask anyone who knows him personally, From his closest friends to casual acquaintances, they will all tell you the exact same thing. Charles Barkley, his best friend and a fellow Hall of Famer, put it perfectly on Conan O'Brien's show. There's nobody cheaper than Michael Jordan. The stories about his tipping habits are the stuff of legend. According to multiple accounts, a waitress in Las Vegas once brought Jordan a drink, and he tipped her with a single $5 casino chip. The story gets crazier because Wayne Gretzky, yes, the great one himself, was there and called him out on it, saying it was cheap. So, what was Jordan's response? He allegedly snatched back the $5 chip and replaced it with a $1 chip instead. The comedian T. Kirkland shared another story where he witnessed Jordan leave a measly $20 tip on a bill that was over $1. Barkley contrasted this directly with his own famously generous tipping, emphasizing that MJ just never paid tips. It even extends to his own home. Nick Young, aka Swaggy P, once broke a $20 lamp at Jordan's house, and Jordan flat out refused to pay for it, reportedly calling him an expletive in the process.
Who are the cheapest guys that you've hung out with that we would know?
Well, there's nobody cheaper than Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan.
This deep-seated frugality extends far beyond just stiffing servers on tips. As the owner of the Charlotte Hornets, Jordan was consistently accused of cheap management, a practice that many believe made the team a league-wide laughingstock by constantly skimping on acquiring top-tier talent. There's even a book on Tiger Woods that claims Jordan actually reinforced Woods' own notoriously stingy approach to money and how he treated his staff. But here's the fascinating part: Jordan's cheapness seems to stem directly from his legendary competitive nature. He appears to treat money just like points on a scoreboard, a game he's determined to win. And honestly, with $3.8 billion in the bank, it's impossible to argue with the results of his strategy. And yet, Jordan wasn't the only legend from that era whose thriftiness became a permanent part of NBA folklore. Which brings us to Scottie Pippen. Speaking of cheap Bulls legends, Scottie Pippen has earned a nickname that has haunted him for decades. No Tippin' Pippen. This is a Hall of Famer, a man who was absolutely instrumental in winning 6 NBA championships, alongside Michael Jordan, who now has a net worth of approximately. That number might seem surprisingly modest, especially when you consider his career earnings exceeded $109 million from NBA salaries alone, not to mention the tens of millions he made from endorsements. So, what on earth happened? Pippen's financial journey is a sobering cautionary tale. He lost an estimated $120 million of his career earnings through a devastating combination of bad investments and outright financial mismanagement. His financial advisor, Robert Lundin, mismanaged his funds, leading to $20 million in losses before Lundin was eventually convicted of fraud. And Pippen also invested a staggering $27 million in ventures like a soybean farm in Arkansas and various real estate deals that went completely sour during the To make matters worse, a $4 million investment in a Gulfstream jet that never even materialized ended up leaving him $5 million in debt. But here's the thing, even before all these massive financial setbacks, Pippen was already known for his legendary frugality. Restaurant staff all over Chicago in the 1990s are the ones who gave him the No Tippin' Pippen nickname for his habit of consistently stiffing servers on tips. And just like with Jordan, Charles Barkley publicly called out both Pippen and Jordan as the cheapest players in the entire NBA during that famous 2014 appearance on Conan O'Brien's show. This intense cheapness is directly tied to his upbringing. Scottie Pippen grew up in extreme poverty as the youngest of 12 children in Hamburg, Arkansas. His father worked tirelessly in a paper mill until a devastating stroke left him paralyzed. In another family tragedy, one of his older brothers was also paralyzed after a wrestling injury in gym class. These profound early struggles shaped a grounded, cautious perspective on life and money that has clearly never left him. In a viral social media post from 2024, Pippen shared his philosophy that a $30,000 watch tells the exact same time as a 3031, and that true happiness comes from relationships, not from materialism. But the stories of legendary frugality certainly don't stop with the Bulls dynasty, not by a long shot. Take Tim Duncan, the big fundamental, who is widely regarded as one of the greatest power forwards in NBA history, and also one of the most remarkably grounded superstars the league has ever witnessed. With a net worth of approximately $130 million, built from over $242 million in career earnings, Duncan's entire approach to life epitomizes humble living. He actually cooks his own meals, with favorites, including ribs, steak, and chicken, without ever employing a personal chef. He's famous for maintaining a relaxed dress code, heavily influenced by his U.S. Virgin Islands upbringing, consistently preferring casual, comfortable attire over flashy designer labels. Perhaps the most telling anecdote of all came in 2016, shortly after he retired from his legendary 19-year career. Duncan was spotted just waiting patiently in line at an Old Navy, the budget clothing store, looking like any other average shopper. However, Duncan's financial prudence was severely tested when his longtime financial advisor, Charles Banks V, defrauded him of over $20 to $25 million through conflicted investments in hotels, wineries, and sports merchandising. Banks was indicted, pleaded guilty to wire fraud in 2017, and was sentenced to 4 years in prison. Duncan managed to recover $7.5 million in a 2018 settlement and wisely described the entire ordeal as a lesson learned. Despite the massive loss, Duncan's overall conservative financial approach meant it didn't completely derail his retirement. He viewed it as not significant damage, given his lifetime of smart choices. His one known exception to his frugality is cars. Duncan owns about 9 vehicles, a mix of classics and performance models. In 2011, during the NBA lockout, he even founded Blackjack Speed Shop in San Antonio, a customization garage named after his jersey number. But even this passion serves more as a smart investment and a form of stress release rather than just lavish spending. And the next player on our list proves that these humble habits span across all generations. Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek freak, has one of the most inspiring rags to riches stories in sports history, and perhaps the most admirable frugal habits of any current superstar. Giannis, the two-time MVP and 2021 NBA champion, has a net worth of approximately but according to his former teammate June Holiday, Giannis is the cheapest guy I know. Holiday elaborated in 2024, saying, Giannis has all that money, but he's still living like he doesn't have any money. This makes perfect sense when you understand Giannis's background. He was born to Nigerian immigrants in Athens, Greece, and grew up in extreme poverty in the Sapolia neighborhood. His family faced severe hardships and constant discrimination. Without legal work permits, his parents struggled to find stable jobs. To help out, Giannis and his brothers would sell watches, bags, and sunglasses on the streets just to make ends meet. He was actually stateless for the first 18 years of his life. These experiences fundamentally shaped his approach to money. Early in his NBA career, Giannis was living off just $190 per day from his $1.7 million rookie salary, sending every other penny back to his family in Greece. He completely avoided designer clothes, jewelry, flashy cars, and any luxury item. Giannis himself has admitted his frugality, saying, "I'm cheap for myself, but generous with family, giving them more than he gives himself." He's been spotted bargain shopping in New York City, and even complaining about expensive food in LA, saying the city's just not for me. For Giannis, luxury isn't a fancy car, it's remembering the tiny apartment his family once shared in Greece. Still, there's another superstar whose simplicity became just as iconic. Dirk Nowitzki, the greatest European player in NBA history, revolutionized the game with his signature one-legged fadeaway jumper. After 21 incredible seasons exclusively with the Dallas Mavericks, culminating in the 2011 championship, Dirk retired with a net worth of approximately $1. But what truly defines Dirk is his remarkable humility. Despite earning over $255 million in career salary, making him one of the highest-paid players ever at the time, Nowitzki turned down millions in endorsement deals just to maintain his privacy and a simple life. He's been known to carry his own equipment and meals, completely avoiding the large entourage that is so typical of superstars. The most telling story involves flying. As a 7-footer worth hundreds of millions, Dirk was spotted flying in economy class, casually chatting with fans, offering life advice, and posing for photos. His approachable nature is a stark contrast to the typical superstar experience. Dirk even started a tradition of giving handmade friendship bracelets to fans, fostering genuine connections over material displays. He resisted a lavish retirement tour in 2019, preferring quiet appreciation from his peers over all the fanfare. His Hall of Fame speech perfectly emphasized gratitude, humor, and class, crediting teammates like Steve Nash and Jason Kidd, all while maintaining the profound modesty that defined his career. As one tribute noted, Dirk proved that success doesn't require extravagance, just authenticity. But even that level of humility pales in comparison to what comes next. Adrian Dantley. Here is perhaps the most striking example of an NBA legend living frugal. Hall of Famer Adrian Dantley, one of the most efficient scorers in league history, with a net worth of approximately $2.5 million, chose to work as a school crossing guard for over a decade after retiring. Yes, you read that correctly. A Hall of Famer, a two-time scoring champion, working as a crossing guard at Eastern Middle School in Silver Spring, Maryland, earning just $14,000 annually. You have to be asking, why? He did it for the free health insurance provided by Montgomery County. Since neither the NBA nor its Players Association covers retirees' health benefits, Dantley found a brilliantly practical solution rather than paying out of pocket. This choice, despite his millionaire status, intensified his lifelong, extreme frugality. Associates noted he flat-out refused to pay for insurance himself, and genuinely enjoyed the daily routine and the community connection. Dantley once stated, "I'm not famous, I'm a crossing guard," reflecting his completely grounded perspective. His frugality dates way back to his playing days, where he earned a reputation for penny pinching and avoiding any unnecessary expenses. Carmelo Anthony once called him one of the richest ex-players because of his incredible savings habits. The story of a Hall of Famer helping kids cross the street for health insurance is the perfect encapsulation of NBA legends who truly live like they're poor. Now, on the other end of the spectrum lies a story where frugality didn't just save money, it built an absolute empire. Junior Bridgman. If you want proof that frugality leads to fortune, look no further than Junior Bridgman. This former NBA sixth man, who never made more than $350,000 in a single NBA season, built a business empire worth between $600 million and $1.4 billion at the time of his death. How did he pull it off? Through disciplined frugality during his playing days, which allowed him to invest his savings wisely, unlike so many of his peers who splurged on luxury items. Bridgman lived incredibly frugally, avoiding flashy cars, mansions, and parties. This approach allowed him to save aggressively. While he was still an active player, Bridgman began working at a Wendy's restaurant during the off-seasons to learn the fast food industry from the ground up, flipping burgers, mopping floors, and managing operations. This hands-on approach was unheard of for a professional athlete. His first investment, Brooklyn Wendy's with his coach Paul Silas, actually failed. But Bridgman doubled down on his education, continuing to work shifts to master the business. Starting with just one Milwaukee Wendy's, he expanded aggressively. By the mid-2010s, his company owned over 500 franchises across Wendy's, Chili's, Pizza Hut, and Fazoli's in 20 states. In 2016, he purchased Heartland Coca-Cola, nearly tripling its revenue to. He bought Ebony and Jet magazines in 2020 and acquired a 10% stake in the Milwaukee Bucks in 2024. Magic Johnson called Bridgman the blueprint for athletes transitioning to business. His story proves that saving over spending creates true generational wealth, and he wasn't the only one who turned discipline into a business powerhouse. Jamal Mashburn. Jamal Mashburn earned over $75.6 million in NBA salary during his 12-year career. But what's truly remarkable is what he did with it. Rather than squandering his earnings, like the reported 60% of players who go broke within 5 years of retirement, Mashburn adopted a frugal lifestyle that set the foundation for a business empire now worth approximately $1. Through his company Mashburn Sackett, he owns over 90 businesses, primarily in Kentucky and surrounding states. This portfolio includes 38 Outback Steakhouse restaurants, 40 Papa John's pizza franchises, 3 Dunkin' Donuts locations, and multiple car dealerships. Mashburn has credited his success to actively avoiding the rich and foolish lifestyle. He studied business during his playing days, took courses in franchising, and surrounded himself with reliable advisors. He emphasized living below his means, continuous learning, and reinvestment over personal luxuries. His approach involves hands-on management and site visits, leveraging his NBA fame for partnerships without over-relying on it. Unlike many former players who struggle financially, Mashburn's post-career earnings have exceeded $60 million from business profits alone. As one of the NBA's most successful businessman-athletes, Mashburn stands as proof that financial discipline during your earning years creates lasting wealth afterward. But sometimes financial discipline leads to something far bigger than personal wealth. David Robinson, the Admiral. David Robinson, the former Navy officer turned NBA superstar, has a net worth of approximately $200 million. But what truly defines his legacy is his unwavering commitment to living modestly and giving back. Robinson earned over $116 million in NBA salary over his career, but his approach to wealth has always prioritized service over self. In 1991, he established the David Robinson Foundation, supporting education and youth programs. His flagship initiative, Carver Academy, was founded in 2001 with his wife, Valerie, as a faith-based private school for inner-city children. The Robinsons personally donated $9 to $10 million to launch and sustain it. Robinson has spoken openly about rejecting greed and pride, drawing from his Christian faith to live a pure life amid temptations. Post-retirement, he avoided idle luxury, diving straight into business and charity so as not to waste time. His business ventures reflect these same values. He co-founded Admiral Capital Group in 2007, a private equity firm focusing on real estate and impact investments, projects that generate wealth while also benefiting underserved communities. Robinson has described NBA fame as teaching him gratitude, realizing that material success alone doesn't fulfill, which led him to focus on service. This mindset has kept him grounded, with investments tied to social good, ensuring his lifestyle remains unpretentious despite his nine-figure fortune. And yet there's another example of someone who mastered money long before the checks got big. Grant Hill. Grant Hill was supposed to be the next Michael Jordan before being derailed by devastating injuries, but he rebuilt himself into one of the NBA's most successful businessmen, with a net worth of approximately. What's remarkable is how he got there, through disciplined financial management that started from day one. Hill famously forwent traditional sports agents, who charge up to 4% commissions, instead hiring lawyers on an hourly basis to negotiate his contracts. He viewed athletes as CEOs of our own companies, arguing that executives use attorneys without paying percentage-based fees. This simple but brilliant approach saved him millions. Attorney Lon Babby handled his rookie 8-year $45 million deal with the Pistons, his 7-year $92.8 billion sign and trade to the Magic, and subsequent contracts, all for hourly rates rather than percentages. Hill's frugality was shaped by his upbringing. His mother, Janet Hill, who advised figures like Charles Barkley on financial matters, warned Barkley against financially supporting relatives and friends excessively, as it creates dependency and ruins relationships. Hill himself has described being paranoid about money and about losing money, a fear shaped by observing the financial struggles of retired athletes. Even after signing multi-million-dollar contracts, Hill maintained a no-frills lifestyle, didn't go on shopping sprees, and studied the newspaper's business section daily. Today, he's invested over $200 million in real estate projects, owns part of the Atlanta Hawks, purchased for $850 million in 2015, now valued at $1.6 billion. All of it was built on a foundation of careful spending and smart investing from day one. Still, not everyone relied on massive contracts. Some simply saved every single dollar they touched. Andre Miller, the professor, had a 17-year NBA career marked by durability, intelligence, and nearly $100 million in career earnings. His net worth sits between $40 to $70 million, and he accumulated it through legendary thriftiness. Miller's most famous habit. Throughout his entire career, he saved his per diem allowance by eating free media dinners in press rooms instead of spending his own money on meals. This practice was observed as late as 2014 with the Wizards, where a reporter spotted him casually grabbing salad and corn from the buffet while still in uniform, right before a playoff game. He never hired a personal trainer or followed a strict diet, admitting to eating burgers, fries, and backyard barbecue. He once even overdosed on chocolate, requiring an emergency room visit, and then played in the very next game. Miller's frugality stemmed from his upbringing in Watts, Los Angeles, one of the city's most challenging neighborhoods. Growing up with hardship taught him the value of saving every penny. The result? While many NBA players struggle financially post-career, Miller retired comfortably and transitioned seamlessly into coaching. He now serves as the head coach of the Grand Rapids Gold, the G League affiliate of the Denver Nuggets, proving that financial discipline creates incredible options after basketball ends. And that mindset didn't disappear with the next generation. Draymond Green. Four-time NBA champion Draymond Green has a net worth of approximately $90 million, with career earnings exceeding $200 million, But he still operates on what he calls broke principle. These habits stem directly from his upbringing in Saginaw, Michigan, a working-class city where he experienced financial hardships firsthand. Green has often reflected on basketball being a poor man's game, an escape from poverty. His frugality is legendary. He has admitted to sharing Netflix passwords, getting free haircuts, and regretting a $21,000 nightclub splurge as his worst financial mistake. In his rookie year, after taxes, he had about $400,000 left from his $850,000 salary and realized it wasn't enough for life, which prompted him to learn about investing. Green now warns young NBA players against early luxury chasing, advising them to save that money until you truly know who you are. His ultimate goal is to become a billionaire by age 40, evaluating every single decision through that lens. His early investment in Smile Direct Club yielded a massive 40x return when it went public in 2000. Green surrounds himself with advisors experienced in billionaire-level finances, not just athlete money management. He treats money like a scorecard and competes with his teammates on smart investments, bringing the same ferocious intensity he shows on the court to his financial game in the most unexpected ways. Klay Thompson, 5-time All-Star and 4-time NBA champion. Klay Thompson has a net worth between $80 and $40 million, but early in his career, his finances were managed in the most unusual way imaginable. Klay Thompson's parents controlled his money so strictly that in 2013, after he received a $35,000 league fine for a scuffle, his father docked his allowance. Yes, you read that correctly. An NBA player on an allowance. At the time, Klay received just $300 a week in walking around money, and paid $3,000 in monthly rent, all of which was controlled by his parents to ensure he was safe. His father, Marshall Thompson, himself a former NBA champion with the Lakers, emphasized this approach to teach responsibility, noting that Klay didn't have direct access to his earnings. This bizarre arrangement helped Klay avoid the bankruptcy risks seen in so many other young professionals. By 2014, he transitioned to a professional money manager, but the frugal mindset had already been cemented. In a 2019 interview, Thompson reflected on his biggest rookie financial mistake, splurging on Rolex watches and accessories for his Escalade. He realized those material items didn't bring him happiness and now advocates for mindful spending. Thompson still owns a pool table he bought with his first big paycheck, a constant reminder that experiences and memories matter far more than possession. The kid who was on an allowance as a professional NBA player is now worth over $100 million. Proving that a little parental financial oversight can create lasting wealth. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to click on one of the cards playing on your screen right now to watch similar content.